Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So it's my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we are going to do the Bernat Christmas tree skirt. Now you can see within the skirt here it actually has a tree motif that's been done. Now when I was originally looking at it, I was thinking that we were gonna go around in a circle and then this will be forming as we're doing this. In fact, that's not true. So what we're going to do is that we're going to create the very center of this piece, and then each one of these are a separate motif that you are going to crochet, and when you do the next one it just joins to it. So it appears that there's 11 of those. So in today's tutorial what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the first one, and then I'm going to take you through the second, and then you can just keep on joining them as you go in order to form this particular circle. I'm then also going to cover the border today. We're going to be using a 5mm size H crochet hook today. Bernat Happy Holidays was prescribed for the yarn, but I'm just going to use like a Super Saver green. I think that'd be quite awesome, and it's something that I have in my collection here. So we're going to get ourselves started. We'll follow the instructions and we'll check it off as we go. And today is the Christmas tree skirt, and this is an intermediate level, and I think it's actually really quite neat. So let's do it. For those that love diagrams, what we're going to do is that we're going to create the very center, and the center here is shown in right here. So we're gonna create that, and you'll have that all the way. Then you're going to start each motif, and you can see it's back and forth, and then this one will stand by itself, and this is where you'll end your story. Then you are going to start the next one back here, and when you go here you're going to just join it. So just slip stitch and join, slip stitch and join. So basically you're concentrating on that. Now the very last one, if you want a closed one, you want to make sure that you are doing that particular concept, and it will be a complete circle at this with a very large center in the middle. So I don't think there's a lot of explanation to do. Let's just get started and grab your crochet hook and let's begin. As we begin today's tutorial, I am going to make an error in this video, which I did realize after we got through it. And so the chart here does not match the words for row number 17. So I assume the chart looked right, so I followed the chart. If you are going to follow the set of instructions, then either decide the chart and follow the tutorial the way that I showed you, or do 17 and then follow the words as it states then in the first one. Where the difference is that when I decided that the chart was right, I improvised that at the base of this section right here, I decided to use the spacing in between in order to keep myself in balance, because there's a wrong number of counting. So my point being is that if you have an issue something like this in a pattern, it's not a deal breaker in the sense that you can always improvise and find a way. This here sounds kind of complicated when you look at the instructions, so I'm gonna take a photograph, put this on the website, and therefore you can look at that as well in order to determine if you know what you're doing. So and again, if you're not really sure, fake it or make it. So let's carry on with today's tutorial. So to begin, just create a slip knot, and I need you to chain 114. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go all the way to 113, and meet me back here in just a moment. So first observation, you're noticing that we're not creating a circle at the end of that chain. So let's begin officially row number 1. We're also going to be marking the right side and the wrong side, or just one of the other, in order to be able to identify it in the future. Let's begin. So we're going to 4 chain from the hook, so just count it back. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to the back hump of the chain, and I need you then to put in 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. Now the chains that you just skipped plus these 3 gives you a total count of 4. So just remember that in the future. So now you're gonna chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and in the exact same stitch or chain you're going to put in 4 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think technically this blanket or this particular skirt is not closed at the end, so it has an opening so that you can just throw it around the skirt without having to lift a tree over it. So now you're gonna skip the next 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and you're gonna go to the 10th, and then you're going to, so now that you've done that, chain 3 immediately. So 1, 2, 3. Now come back to the chain and skip 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So go to the 10th one and then put in 4 double crochet, So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then once you're done that, then chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and in the same one another 4 double crochets in there. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's talk about the repeat then. This is all we need to know. So you're just gonna chain 3, skip 9 and go to the 10th one and put 4 double crochet, chain 3, 4 double crochet, and you're gonna do that all the way to the other side. So once you're done the very last one, then you'll have what appears to be 11 of these that you'll see. Once you're done that, I want you to be able to mark this. So what we're looking at right now is considered the wrong side. So grabbing a spare piece of yarn, what I would strongly recommend to you is just on this side of the work somewhere, just slip it through a piece of the stitch of just a spare yarn and mark it. So whenever you see that, so write on your sheet that the wrong side is marked. So whenever it starts on the right side, I'm supposed to look at this side. Okay, so this is considered the wrong side, just for you know. So I want you to go all the way across with this, and then when we come back I'm going to start with the motifs. I'm not gonna do that. I just want to demonstrate on how to do the 2 motifs on how they work today. So let's pretend that I've gone all the way to the other side, and you will have all these. So I have a total of 3. Once you have all the way to the other side, this will be the end of the chain, so you won't see any more of this. This will be the very last one here. So you're just going to turn your work and you're going to begin, and this will be the right side of the work, and I can tell that because my stitch marker is on the other side. To begin, we have to get ourselves to this chain 3 spot. In order to do that, we have to slip stitch ourselves, in this particular case, all the way there. In the future, that's where we're gonna start anyway, in the chain 3. So if you wanted to change the colors and make the Christmas tree just a solid color from the difference from this, then you'll just start here in this chain 3 space. Let's begin row number 1. We're going to chain 3, which will count as a double crochet, and in the same chain 3 spot I want you to put in 2 more double crochet. And that's it for row number 1. So now that we've done row number 1, we're now going to do row number 2, 3, and 4. Now I don't want to make this tutorial huge in time wise, because it doesn't need to be, but you are going to notice is that when we start, we're going to chain 4, which will count as a treble, and you'll put 2 more double crochets into the same one. Then the next one is 1 by itself, and then the next one has 2 trebles or 2 double crochets and 1 treble to finish. So when you do number 3, it's chain 4, 2 doubles into the first, 1 double crochet into each, 2 into the last, and then 1 treble into the last to finish, and you'll do this up until row number 4. 4 is exactly the same thing. So what I want you to do now is that I'll start you on row number 2, and then you're going to do up to 4 on your own, and then we'll meet back here on number 5. So rows number 2, 3, and 4, same thing. So you're just gonna chain 4. That's your first treble, and in the very same one that's coming out of, put 2 trebles. The very next stitch is just 1 by itself, and then the very last one in the turning chain is going to be 2 double crochet to start, and then polish it off with a treble. And that was row number 2. So please do 3 and 4 exactly the same way, and meet me back here in just a moment. So I've just finished up to row number 4. I want you to realize that each one of these sections of the Christmas tree consists of 4 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we go to turn now and do row number 5, we are going to do a slip stitch now in row number 5. So we're just gonna slip in the first 6, starting with the very first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And right where we're sitting, we're going to chain your 4, because you already know how to do that, and you're gonna put 2 double crochet in the same one as well. Now this time there's going to be 3 double crochets that will sit by itself. So 1, 2, and 3. and then the next one is the ending of this row. So it's going to be 2 double crochet, and then it's going to be a treble to finish, and that was row number 5. So this is now considered in this section rows 1 of 4. So turning your work, number 6, 7 and 8 are exactly what you already know. So you're just gonna immediately start up and chain your 4, and then 2 double crochet in the first, and then you'll plop in 1 double crochet in each, and in the turning chain you'll put 2 double crochet and then 1 treble to finish. So you'll do that. This is considered row number 6 right now, and you'll do 7 and 8 so that you have another section of 4 done. So please meet me back here and we'll carry on to row number 9 in just a few moments from now. So I've now just finished up to row number 8. So you can see that the 4 sections, so 1 2 3 4. Now let's move on to number 9, and we're going to, right where we are, we're going to slip stitch the first 6 like we had before. So 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, and here's your new set of instructions. So you're just going to chain 4, there's your treble, and then it's 2 double crochet in the same one. Now in row number 9, the next 9 are going to be by itself, and then the 10th one will be the 2 double crochets and 1 treble to finish. So I'm just gonna rely on you to do that because it's pretty self-explanatory. So 9 by itself, and the next one has 2 double crochet and 1 treble, and then turn your work, and we'll meet back in just a moment. So just finished up to row number 9. So now I need you to do rows number 10, 11 and 12. Those are gonna be the exact same thing as what you already know. So chain 4, 2 doubles in the first, 1 double in each, and the last turning chain 2 doubles and 1 treble. Please do now rows number 10, 11 and 12, and meet me back here in just a moment. So I'm officially now at the end of row number 12. So you can see there's 1 section, 2, 3, and there's a total of 4, and each has 4 rows. So let's move on now to row number 13. So we have to do another jet in, so you're just going to slip stitch the first 6 starting in the first one. So 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, and this is where the new story will begin. You're going to chain 4, so chain 4, sorry about that, and then 2 double crochet in the first. Now there's gonna be a total of 15 double crochets by itself, and the one after that will have 2 double crochets and 1 treble to finish that off, and this is row number 13. So please do that, and then meet me back here in just a moment. So now that I'm on the other side, rows number 14, 15 and 16 is done the same way. So this will conclude that section of 4 then when you do that. So please, just what you already know, just chain up 4 and then 2 double crochet in the first, and then 1 double crochet in each, and then the very last one when you get there is 2 double crochet, chain 2 double crochet, and then 1 treble into the last. So I need you to do that now for rows number 14, 15 and 16, and 17 will then conclude off our tree at the base. So let's get those additional 3 rows done, and then I'll meet you back here in just a moment. So now we have 4 sections done, 1 2 3 and 4. Now we have to just do the little sticky thing at the bottom. So you're going to notice that the chart is actually incorrect, so just make a note of that. And the chart is actually right. It's the written words that is actually different, which I think are incorrect itself. So maybe the chart's right and the written words are not. So right where we're sitting, we're moving on now to row number 17, and you need to slip stitch the first 15. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. So the chart says that it's going to chain 4, which 1 2 3 4. The written instructions say to chain 3, which I think is incorrect. Then you're going to put in 2 double crochets into that same one. The written words say just to put 1, which I think is also incorrect. So I think just follow with what you already know. Now the next 3 in a row are by itself. So 1 2 and 3, and then finally the last one piece here. Let me just check the instructions. So the last one, there's actually 2 double crochet according to the chart. 1 and 2 and then a treble, all sharing the same one. So the written instructions say that it is a double crochet, 1 double crochet and treble, which doesn't line up with the first time. So I'm just going to trust that the instructions for the diagram are correct, and this is what it looks like. And now we're going to fasten off. So when you fasten off, I would actually fasten off with your tapestry needle at this point, because you're technically done. And next time when you're going to use this surface, we'll be doing the border. So we're going to go to a second version. So we're gonna go back down to that original chain that we started and start another one. Now if you're really kind of paying attention, hopefully you were, you will notice that you really don't have to excessively count, only when it jets in. And so on my notes I wrote that it has 3 by itself in the first jet in, and then the next jet in that we did, there was 9 by itself, and then the next jet in there was 15 by itself. And I wrote that on my pattern so that I can just easily just kind of follow that along. And then the rows in between is just the regular growing out rows that you don't need to count. You just gotta make sure that you just keep going back and forth and adding your extras to the very ends. So let's go back down and let's go to and make another one. I'm going to quickly go through it and then we'll cover the border. So now we have one tree done. The next tree is going to go here, and you're going to start it, and every time that it's about to jet in, that's where you're going to attach it with the slip stitch so that it joins, and you'll attach here, 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 and here. So everything else is the same. The counts are the same. Everything's the same. You just got to make sure that you slip stitch. So what I'm going to rely on you to do, if you would like to do this, if you're continuing along, is that you're going to start off the same way. So I already have it already done in video format. So I'm just going to start, and then I'm going to make sure that I have 2 trees, and I'll show you here on how to join them, and then you can do the rest on your own as well. So let's begin the second motif, and then all the rest of the motifs are done exactly the same way. Remember to begin, we're on the right side of the work. So remember I marked this, and this is considered the wrong side, so I know that this is correct, and I can look at the first stitch here, and because I'm experienced I can see that this is the right side as well, but not everybody has that ability, so that's fine. So you're going to start off and you're going to go into this chain 3 space way back here and just attach it with a slip stitch and then chain 3 and then put in 2 more double crochets there. Go right up over top of the straggler so that it gets buried underneath. And what I would think about doing strongly is that, when I say strongly, I mean you should really do it. Sometimes they say, oh yeah, use your own mind, but this case I would do it because you'll probably use this year after year, and so you might as well just secure it in with a tapestry needle by going back and forth 3 times, and therefore you'll never have to worry about that falling out, especially if you present this as a gift. So now that that's in, you can safely get rid of that piece and then cut that, and then we'll move on. So now I want you to move on. So we're gonna do rows number 2, 3, and 4. I'll do them on my own. So remember it's chain 4, 2 double crochet in the first. In this case there'll only be 1 by itself, and then the next one is 2 double crochet treble. So we're gonna keep doing that, and right where we're about to jet in is where we're going to attach it to this. So I'll see you back here in just a few moments. So I'm gonna get rows number 2, 3, and 4 done now. So I've just finished my first section. I have 4 lines. I'm about to jet in, but before I do, I want to, on this one here, just slip stitch to the end. Okay, so just going into this point over here, I would go right into a chain, not into a space. Okay, and you're just gonna slip and slip. So now it's just officially attached. Now you're just going to turn your work, and in this case, because it is the end of a section, you just have to begin, and you're going to slip stitch the first 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then in this case here it was chain 4 to begin. This is row number 5. And then 2 double crochet, and this case there will be 3 double crochets on their own. So 1, 2, and 3. And then the next one is a 2 double crochet first, and then a treble. Now here's the thing. I want you to finish off this section again just like you did, and you won't see me now for the remaining of this particular section, but every time you get a section done, then what you want to do is join it like you did with here, and then continue the pattern as you know it. So it's just the only difference is that you're slip stitching. So I'm gonna do that on my own, and I'll be back in just a few moments as we begin, and I'll show you how to do quick to do the border. Let's do that, and I'll be back in a moment. So at this time they're all attached. So then you'll have the remaining of those going all the way around. Now in the border is actually done in rows, so it's not done as a continuous circle. So we're gonna start here, and then we're gonna carry on. Once you get a repeat done, then it's the same then going throughout each. That's why I don't have to do this whole thing with you on camera. So I can show you what those repeats are so that you can complete that. And so there are 4 rows that complete the actual border. So let's take a look at the photo. When I go to look at the photo, I can see in between the Christmas trees there's this, and then right at the base of that pointy thing, or like the tree stump, there's one of those. So we can actually see that's pretty consistent as we go. It's just a matter of getting ourselves set up in the first round in order to, or the first row, in order to make that happen. Let's begin. So let's get ourselves started on the border. We want to start in the first double crochet. It doesn't address this treble that we have, so I'm going to assume that that's right, and if anything's wrong just improvise, right? Just slip stitch to attach, and you need to chain 10, which will count as a double crochet, and chain 7 space. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, and so you're going to come back down on this, and you're going to skip the next 6. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, go to the 7th and double crochet. Then you are going to chain 7. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, and I would ignore how many stitches it's telling you to skip because it's irrelevant. Just single crochet into the top of this one right here, this treble right there. Then you're going to chain 3. So 1 2 3, and so now that we've chained 3, here's the trick. I need you at this point, because we have improvised on the questioning whether the chart was right or whether this is right. If you're following this tutorial, follow exactly what I'm about to show you, because in technical words is that the chart was actually technically incorrect. Okay, so what we have to do is that, see the first the middle 3 here, when you go to, you've already chained 3, you're gonna put 2 double crochet, go right into the spacing right here, and that'll put you back in balance. I am completely cheating. So technically it's stated to put 2 double crochet into this same stitch, but then it's out of balance. So now chain 3. So 1 2 3 and single crochet in the last treble. Fake it or make it, right? I'll put a note in the tutorial that about that as well. So now you have to continue your journey. So from this point you need to get to the other side of the tree. So now you're gonna chain 7. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, and what I would do if I were you, remember that double crochet in the end, they're not telling you to worry about that treble. So from that double crochet that has something, and remember it said to skip a certain amount of stitches, right? It said to skip 6. So from here I would go here, we're gonna put something there, so go 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then this one here is where you need to be. That should be your double crochet. So I'm actually going backwards in order to save the balance of this. Then I want to chain 7. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then double crochet in that last double crochet before the treble. Okay, so if you can do things like that, it just makes a lot of sense, right? So then we're gonna continue around into the next tree format. So let's begin that. So from this point right where they're joining, you want to put 2 double crochet in there, and then immediately go to the next double crochet that's here. So ignore that treble, and then we're gonna begin our journey all over again. So now chain 7. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, and remember that we had to skip 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go to the 7th and double crochet. We're gonna chain 7 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go to the top of the treble and then chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and again what I showed you already because of the tutorial. Just look for the middle 3 and just go to the space. Put 1 into each one of those spaces. And you can refer to the instructions if you're following the instructions carefully. So then 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the last treble and then chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what I would do again, the last double is gonna have something, and then from that you're gonna start from the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go to the 7th. That's where you're gonna double crochet. And then chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you're going to double crochet in the double crochet there. So then this is where you'll start your journey back again, because you'll have another motif in a row. So you'll have a total going all the way around. So in the join you'll put in your 2 like you had been before. You'll go to your first double, chain 7, and etc. and you will have this configuration going in there. At the end of this we're gonna have to turn though and begin row number 2. Let's turn our work and begin row number 2. So let's pretend we've gone all the way around. There's no joining, it's just continually a row. So let's begin row 2. So right where we are, we're going to start row number 2. So we're gonna chain up 3. So 1, 2, 3, and in the very beginning one here we're going to put in a double crochet. So it appears to have 2 in there. That matters. You'll see that happening on the very last stitch of this row. So let's continue. We're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna put 3 double crochet in this next chain 7 space. So 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the only time it appears. So just make a mental note where you see that 6. A 6 is gonna be here and a 6 will be here on a Christmas tree. So the next space that you have will be 3 double crochet in there. So 1, 2, 3, and now you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and I want you to look for the 2 middle ones. So here's what you're going to do. The first one will have 2 double crochet first, and then a chain 3. The next one will have 2 double crochet, and then chain 3, and then you immediately come over here and you put in 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and now here's the new chain 6 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then come into the next space and put 3, and then chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, just like you have there. Okay, and so we're going to go into the middle ones that you have, and you're gonna do exactly what you did at the middle of the tree. Okay, the 2 middles. So you'll put in 2 double crochet first, chain 3, and 2 double crochet. And then you start a new section all over again. So that's what it looks like. So let's begin again. So you're gonna chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, slam in 3 double crochets there, and now here's that big chain 6 space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, put in 3 double crochets into the next, okay, and then 1, 2, 3, and then you're coming into the middle ones. So it's right there. So you'll put in 2 double crochet to start, followed by a chain 3, and then go to the next one and do the same. So do you see the repeat going on in this thing? Hopefully so. It's actually pretty straightforward. And then chain 3, double crochet in the next, and there's 3 double crochets there, just to be clear. And now you're gonna do that big chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and 6, and then 3 double crochet. So you're gonna just maintain yourself all the way across the row doing this. So right where you are here is the same as here. So chain 3, come to the ones in the middle, the 2 is 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet in the next, and you'll do that all the way to the end. Now once you get to the end of your row, you're going to then just chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and in the third chain up, when we went to go start this thing, is that we want to immediately right here put in 2 double crochet, and that will keep you in balance for this whole thing. And that's the end of the row for row number 2. So this is what it will look like, and you'll turn your work and begin row number 3. So let's begin row number 3. You're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet into the very next one. So that's how you'll start your row. And now let's begin. So this is the start of a repeat. So you're gonna chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go to the next chain 6 space, and you're gonna put 3 double crochet there. So 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in the next chain 3 space right here, that's where you're gonna play. So in there you're going to put 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and then chain 3, and then 3 more double crochet there. So it's actually a really easy round. Okay, do you see what's happening with all that? So let's start a new one. So you're gonna chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go to your chain 6 spot, and then put in 3 double crochet there, and then chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just jump all the way to where these are split, and you will put in 3 double crochet, and then chain 3 and 3 double crochet. Do you see that? Okay, so then chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 double crochet in the next chain 3 space. Sorry, next chain 6 space. Sorry, it's a little confusing with these chain 3s and no. Oh my. Okay, so then chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then just come into this, and then slam in 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. So you're gonna do this all the way around. Hopefully it's making sense for you. Always go to the instructions if I'm not making any sense. So then chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then come to the next chain 6 space. So fill in 3 double crochets in that chain 6 space, and then just continue with what you already know. So now you're gonna chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In this case it would have been running back into something like this, but because it's the very end of the row, then in the very end you just want to fill those in. So we have 1 double crochet in each of the last 2 double crochets that you have, and that will conclude off the 3rd row. Okay, so it looks pretty lacy at this point, and now we're gonna do our final row now. Okay, let's begin the final row. Took me a little bit to understand it, but let's try it anyway. So we're gonna chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, and 1 double crochet in the next. So I had to cross compare the photograph to see exactly what they're talking about. So I'm going to chain 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in this same chain 7 space, or sorry, in this chain 6 space and this one, we want to put 2 together trebles in order to share those. So we're going to wrap the hook twice and go around the space, the chain 6 space, and pull through 2 and 2 and hold it. Don't finish it. Come to the space on the other side, wrap the hook twice, and going in, pull through 2 and 2 and hold, and now you have 3 loops. Pull through all 3, and that became the 2 together that they're talking about. Now we're going to chain 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we're gonna go right into this space right here, and in this space we're going to put in 3 double crochet. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and we're gonna do what is called as a picot. So chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the top of the first, and then in that same one again put 3 double crochet in. I love picots. They just do a nice finishing touch. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So now you're gonna chain 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now in this chain 6 space you're going to put 2 trebles together. So you do the first half and then do the other half here. And then chain 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then in the space here you're going to put 3 double crochet first, and then it's a picot. So 1, 2, 3 and slip, and 3 double crochet in. And that's all you got to do all the way around. Do you see that? So then you'll chain 7, and then you'll put your 2 together here, and then chain 7, and then you'll do your 3 double crochet, picot, and 3 double crochet here, and you'll continue that all the way to the very end. So at the very end when you're going to do this is that the very end, if you recall, is just going to be 2 double crochet then right into the last 2 double crochets in order to finish. So I think it's actually pretty self-explanatory. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish this off just the way that you see it, and my goal is then to snap a photo of it and then leave it on my website for you to access to see the stitch work that's available. I know the pattern's a little bit confusing. It's just there's a lot of words to explain something that's actually relatively simple, but even for myself I was struggling just a little bit just to be pretty transparent with you as well. So I will see you at the end of this row in just a sec just to verify you know what you're doing, and I'll be right back. So as I said, at the end of the row it's just going to be, after you chain your 7, it'll be just 2 single crochet, or sorry, 2 double crochets right into the end, and then that will conclude that, and then you can fasten that off and weave in your ends, and that would be how you would do this. So that's this particular journey, and again I will leave this on my website. I've probably already stated that in this tutorial today, and that's something that you can decide if you would like to do for yourself. Have a good day, and we hope to see you again real soon.